Hey, what's up guys? DEVASTATION here. Welcome to the new Devastation Evoker PvP guide where I'm going to be going over our gear, talents, and everything else in between. If you guys do like what I put out, please do consider liking the video, subscribing, because there's a great chance I'm going to be putting out a different guide a little bit later in the season just to see where things will pan out stat-wise, gear-wise, if we're running tier or not. So make sure you do all that and let's hop right in. I'm just going to hop right into the gear. You're either going to be running 4 tier or no tier, because the 2 tier alone just is not worth it. So I recommend that you run either 4 set or no set, because the stats on the helmet, chest, they're pretty good. Shoulders is not bad just because it gives you verse and haste, and then gloves are just whatever. But we want the leg equipment slot open so that we can just craft the embellished gear. So if you're running 4 tier, it's helmet, chest, shoulders, gloves. The next piece of gear we're going to be having is the neck slot. We're going to be crafting a neck piece. I don't have that yet, obviously, because I still got to work towards getting the sparks, but you know, we're limited to how many we can get per week, unfortunately. Then I'm rocking the Warmonger's cape. I'm going to craft a cape later in the season as well. Then I have the Warmonger's arm guards. These are the bloody token pieces of gear. Then I was lucky enough to get the conquest weapon. So if you can get the conquest weapon one-hander or two-hander, that's fine. But I think if you are going for the legendary, then you're gonna want to obviously have the one-hander slot open. But if you do want best in slot, it would be the legendary weapon, then you would upgrade that. And then for the offhand, what you want to craft is the Withering Tome. It's a PvE piece of gear, so you're gonna have to do some mythics. But if you can get it to the max upgrade, it does so much extra damage. It's actually insane. I was testing on that with the on the tourney realm when I was playing on the tournament realm for AWC, and I should have a video out for that. So if you want to check out where I had to play preservation, then go ahead and check that out. I'm sure it should be on the channel by now. Make the Withering Tome later in the season if you can, or earlier in the season. You're just gonna have to do a lot of mythic plus for that. And like I said, gloves is the next piece, and then I think we're gonna craft a belt. I'm not sure yet. I forget what the conquest one is, but if it's not a mastery one, then craft a belt. And then you're going to craft the legs for the zone of focus, which gives you the extra mastery when you're above 90% health. That's super great in general for devastation, because we rely so much on mastery still. And then we're going to, you can either play, if you don't go with the tome, you can play with the boots that when you CC kick or something like that, it'll give you the extra stat. I would recommend you play that if you're still playing the more setup-y comp, like with the Dev DK, even if it's just like Dev Unholy. It doesn't necessarily have to be Dev Frost. Dev Unholy has been seeing a lot of representation recently, and it's actually pretty damn good with how much damage Unholy does, so you can put out a lot of pressure. So I would say that's when you can play those boots, but we're probably just going to craft just first mastery boots anyway. And then I would say we're gonna craft a ring as well, either one, the Titanic Insight one or the ring-bound hourglass. Either one of those you're gonna do. I would say you can either do verse mastery. You can do verse mastery, or depending on what your verse is looking like, once you start getting your better pieces of gear, you might be able to get away with making a haste mastery ring, I would think, because as long as you're in the realm of 30-ish% verse, because I'm at 37 right now, which is super overkill, but I got 73% mastery, so it's huge. I just want a little bit more haste, a little bit less verse, because honestly I don't feel that much of a difference with this high verse anyway. So I would say we might be able to get away with going with a haste mastery ring. And then I use unused trinket. I'll get the conquest one when I can, and then obviously just conquest trinket when you can get that. And then this ring right here is super good. It's just proc damage. Obviously this is not even like, this is 2%, but that's also only on the 496 level. Once you get it to the max upgrade, it does so much damage, especially throughout longer games as well. It just pumps, dude. It's actually pretty insane how much damage value you can get out of that when it's max upgrade. Again, so if the fastest way you want to upgrade this, you got to do some mythic plus. Unfortunately, that's the truth, but I think this ring is pretty much best in slot for a lot of DPS right now. It's high verse and a critical strike as well, which critical strike is honestly pretty damn good for devastation right now. I can't lie. I'm still that crit build kind of guy at heart. What can I say? I've hit like a couple Eternity Surges over 400k, over 500k. I think I've almost hit a 600k, if not a 600k Eternity Surge, which is also nice from the the extra 6% we get because it's nerfed by half in PvP. So 6% extra damage to our empowered spells, which is pretty nice. So that's what I got going on for the gear. So obviously once I get my best in slot gear, I'll make an update guide for you guys. So make sure, again, you do subscribe to the channel, because if you don't, you're not gonna know when I put that out. All right, moving along, going right into the talents. Now, I've been kind of messing around with honed aggression and enkindled when I can. If I'm playing more of a, this is my no breath, my iridescent causality build. Once again, as always, this side kind of pretty much stays the same. So we'll go over the evokers talents real quick. This side pretty much stays the same. If you don't want to play with enkindled, you can put this into a toned dream. I really do like having the leech. I swear it's not cope. There's some games where my leech is doing like 625k. That's an extra 8% healing just from that alone. That's pretty much rivaling the shielding from Twin Guardians, and just a little bit behind, about 4% behind on Averted Embrace heals too. So it's not a terrible talent to go, in my opinion. There's this, look, right, an extra 1 million healing from leech alone. So it does have its value, and I swear it's not cope. It's not, I promise. Yes, this is what I usually run. Once again, I've been trying the more honed aggression, more damage in the Living Flame. Honestly, you can do pretty big damn with Living Flame. Let's see if I have a game that shows that off. So this is with the honed aggression build. I'm getting like 335k Living Flame crits and then 262 normals with that alone. And Dreamwalker's kind of pumping too, dude. You can't forget about the Dreamwalkers against double melee cleave. That shit works a lot. So the numbers are there. I've been trying it out, guys. It's pretty good. I would recommend playing it if it's like casting teams or like a caster melee. Teams that aren't really going to be grouped up for Eternity Span to really get any value. Plus, if you're running like with a rogue, for example, and you don't want to break a gouge or a blind, this is really good to play in the honed aggression and not Eternity Span, because if you have your scintillation proc an Eternity Surge from your disintegrate and then it breaks the blind, it's just the most infuriating thing ever. So I've been kind of leaning towards honed aggression. If you want, you could still play like catalyze too. That's fine. I know, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but let's go to the devastation side overall in general. Pretty cookie cutter stuff going on here for the non-deep breath build. The only thing that's a little bit different is the honed aggression, and then I'm playing arcane vigor as well, having that extra essence burst that just, if I'm absolutely starved on my essence right here, I can't do anything, boom, get the essence burst. Plus that also builds into the Titanic Wrath, giving us that extra 15% on that disintegrate, which is just huge. So pretty straightforward stuff for this. Like I said, this is pretty much like the spellcaster cleave kind of build with or spellcaster melee kind of build. This is kind of nice to just play with overall, not rely on deep breath. If you're fighting double melee comp like DKDH, DK warrior, windwalker, rogue, stuff like that, warrior ret, I do like going the deep breath build just because having the extra damage on that and the 1 minute cooldown on the stun is just, it's super helpful. It allows you to kind of give yourself a little bit of a breather and gives you that occasional extra getaway. I also play more toned to the dream and then eternity spanned as well, just because they're more clumped together. Usually a good majority of the time, if it's double melee cleave, honestly, I don't really play shroud. I like to have Obsidian Metal, Alternative Flight, and then usually run Dreamwalker's Embrace. Because like I was showing y'all earlier, because not only is the Dreamwalkers doing damage, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, the extra damage is always nice. It's also doing some healing too. Like that's an extra 14% towards healing on ourselves, dude. It's just nice because it also increases your movement speed and your allies' movement speed, but then also slows the other targets too that get hit by it. So it's a slow, heal, damage, and speed increase. So there's a lot of value right there, especially if you're running Unburdened Flight. It's going to make them a lot harder. It's going to make it a lot harder for them to catch you. So that's just super nice in general. So those are the two main talent builds that I play. I'll have them down in the description so you guys can copy them. And if you have any questions on it, please feel free to comment down below, ask me questions. And if you want, I'll have my Discord link down below as well, so you can join that, ask questions in there. Just because I'm such a nice guy, you know, I'll go over the rotation yet again. Quick overview. You know, I usually Get out of here. I usually go over this pretty much every time I make a guide. I'll do it real quick. I'll go over the burst rotation, and then I'll go over just kind of like the in-between. So your burst rotation, you know, if you're doing any setup or anything, it'd be a pressing roar, deep breath, that kind of thing. But let's say you don't want to go through all that. Fuck the deep breath, fuck the pressing roar, all that shit. We're gonna go ahead and use Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip Fire Breath, which I have a built-in macro right here. I do have all my macros. You know, if you join, if you go over to my stream, follow that stream, by the way. I do stream live on Twitch, twitch.tv/OCDGaming90. I do have a little panel down below in my about section with all my macros and all that kind of good stuff. So you can have all that, copy it, and be all good. Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip Fire Breath, Double Disintegrate, use your burnouts when you get them. Okay? Cool. Dragon Rage, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, Tip Fire Breath, Disintegrate, clip the Disintegrate so you get extra damage along, and keep doing that. And if you don't get any burnouts, that's not the end of the world. You can still do good damage with it. You know, obviously incorporate those burnouts. Don't try cutting off your Disintegrate for them though. That is just something to be wary about, because you don't want to just waste your Disintegrate, especially if you have Essence Burst, Iridescence ones, you know. But use them, try to use it with your Iridescence so you can get your both value from both the spells. So it's not just like you're throwing away your blue spells or your red spells just because you're not pressing those, because you do want that extra 20%. It adds up pretty damn quick. As you can see, damage is looking pretty good. Non-crits, 203 on that, 368, 417, and these are all non-crits. So, and obviously this is on a verseless, I should say, PvP training dummy, but that's fine because I've done it in arena. I got screenshots to prove it. I've hit people like a freaking truck with Eternity Surge. So our damage is there. Damage is great. Now for in between, you just want to be able to, you know, rotate your essence. You want to just be spamming it and wasting it, because you don't want to just disintegrate and disintegrate, move, and then just like waste it, or like try the also juke kicks on like your sleep or something like that if you don't have any like major damage setups, just so you can get kicked on that, or kicked on your Living Flame if you don't have anything built up, or like your Ancient Flame or anything like that, or your Scarlet Adaptation. Then, you know, you get kicked on that. That way you can still cast your blue spells, because your blue spell is your main damage. So you want to be able to use your Disintegrate as much as possible, and have that up and basically all the time, because that's also where your tier set comes into play too, is from your Pyre and your Disintegrate. Obviously, Pyre is just only going to happen during Dragon Rage when you launch it. Don't worry about pressing Pyre usually, unless you get kicked and you want to just use your Essence. But for the most part, I don't normally use Pyre in PvP, unless you're playing some cheesy Charge Blast build, which isn't really all that reliable, and it's just, once again, very cheesy. But for our normal rotation, you guessed it, Disintegrate. You're going to Blue Beam. That's what you're going to do, you know? You want to be able to do Blue Beam. If you ain't got any, try to build up, you know, your Essence Burst. You can kite around. Use your hover to move around. You can use your Azure Strike to build up, or if you want, you can hard cast Living Flame. You have a little bit better value just spamming your Azure Strikes, just because the damage did get increased. And, you know, if you're playing Honed Aggression, it's increased as well. I've hit 100k Azure Strikes, just critical strikes and normal strikes too, depending on people's health pools, since they're so high now. So it's not terrible. But, you know, incorporate your Fire Breaths. Use your Shattering Star with your Eternity Surge and your Disintegrate procs, because you don't want to just Shattering Star and just Disintegrate. Ideally, Shattering Star and then use an Eternity Surge, and if you got a Living Flame, use that too, because that's going to be a lot better value and damage, personally, I think, than just, you know, using this and then like a Fire Breath and then a Disintegrate. You know, it's still going to be big damage, yes, but there's also just better spells you can incorporate and rotate. Now, as you can see, my little rotation right here, it shows the spells and all that. And my cast bar, when it gets towards the end of my cast bar in PvE, they call it clipping. That's just how you can get just a little bit extra DPS. So once it's about there, I'd say this is for my cast bar. Once about there, you want to press it again to get an extra tick of disintegrate and increase the longevity of it, just so it helps how do I explain it? It helps remove just like downtime basically. So if I'm doing this, I want to build up some essence first so I can kind of showcase it. Okay, so I'm doing this, clip it, I do a little extra bit of damage, clip it, increases the cast time. As you can see, it went from our normal of 2.2 to 2.9, so it's elongating the cast time of disintegrate to keep our DPS going and keeping it consistent and not just having downtime in our spells, because we really don't want to be hard casting Living Flame, especially if we have low haste. It's just not going to be worth it. It's just not worth it. That's why we get the Living Flame procs, and that's where that's worth it. That's where we want to be pressing that stuff, you know? So that's kind of the basics of our rotation. If you guys want any explanation on anything else, whether it be with a kiting, healing, off healing, or saving with rescue, playing with time stop, all that kind of stuff, let me know. I can make a separate guide on that. I'll be happy to do that for you guys, you know. And just a couple little small things I guess I want to cover real quick. Majority of the time you're going to play a pressing roar just so you can get down to the stun. If you're fighting anybody with shield AMS, shield of vengeance, mage shields, or disc priest shields, I'd say play Unravel. Warlock shields, play Unravel. It's just super big value. If you're playing like a double purge team or a mage with somebody who can purge, like a Arsham or a priest or something like that, don't play Shroud. Just pick something else. Get like Scouring Flame or get like Chrono Loop or something. Dreamcatcher is even really good. Having a spam CC will help you out a lot. You don't always have to play Unburdened Flight. If you're fighting double caster, swap out Unburdened Flight. You can again go with Dreamcatcher. You can go with Crippling Force. If you're playing with a melee, you can help them out. You can it's just be easier for them to catch. They don't have to waste all their movement to be able to just catch up with them. Or you can play Scouring if it's a mage, and if you get lucky, you can take Alter Time off or something. Or if it's a really high CC team, you can play Time Stop. You can save it, use it to save yourself, or you can use it to save a teammate. Either one, you know, there's a lot of different things you can go for PvP. Just kind of switch it up. You don't always have to play these three right here. They're really good on Burden Flight, really good against melees. Obviously, you want to be kiting because you don't want to be like if it's a Windwalker, they're just going to root you. They're going to pop Serenity and beat the shit out of you, and you can't run away. It's a terrible time. You don't have fun. So that's pretty much the majority of all this. Like I said, I'm going to make a new guide a little bit further into the season, going over the gear changes that we'll get for the best in slot and all that stuff. You know, let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys want me to cover. I'll be happy to do any of that. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I apologize for that. But as you can see, I'm in a new place. So I got to get all that figured out. It's been very busy, very crazy. I've been working a lot, but I'm getting back into things, making videos. Yeah, so I'm just gonna end the video, guys. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys for being patient. I will get back to streaming very soon. Once again, twitch.tv/OCDGaming90. Follow the stream, sub to the YouTube, join the Discord. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I appreciate y'all. Take care.
Thank you so much for watching the video. If y'all enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, share it around, and subscribe to the channel. If y'all want to see more about me, check out the playlist and the most recent uploads. Once again, thank you all for watching. Hopefully I catch you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.